So today we will study about mechanism of organic evolution. So very first we have to go through some of the basic concepts. Okay. So while considering the mechanism of evolution, we have to consider about the individual's role to pass its genetic variation to its offspring. So how exactly individual descend the genotype to the offsprings? What are the chances, okay, or what are the reasons? So here some of the reasons mentioned: mutation, gene recombination, gene flow and genetic drift. So let us discuss about it. Very first we will talk about mutation. As we know, mutation is nothing but permanent, inheritable, okay, change in the genetic or constitution of an organism. That is nothing but mutation. So mutations are, we studied about mutations, okay, and if it is a gene mutation, it produces some of the new alleles. That means the gene pool gets changed. Can you recall gene pool? Gene pool is the total genetic constitution of the population, okay. So mutation bring about changes in alleles, okay. Alleles get changed. That means the genotype results in change in phenotype, okay, and this is permanent inheritable change. So first about mutation. Second about gene recombination. As we know, variation is produced by alleles coming together, okay, during sexual reproduction. As we know, the gene recombination is random. No specific rules, no specific position is required for gene recombination. Okay, as we know, recombination occur in meiosis in non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosome. No definite rule is followed. Okay, so here separation occurs as well as crossing over occur, which results into gene recombination. Further, we will talk about gene flow. Gene flow is nothing but transfer of gene during interbreeding of population that are genetically different. Okay, so we can say gene flow is due to immigration or emigration. Okay, that means people coming together to certain territory and people going out of the certain territory. That is nothing but gene flow. Okay, as the entry of a group of people or an individual changes the constitution of the gene pool. So that is nothing but gene flow. Okay, म्हणजे लोकांच्या येण्याने किंवा जाण्याने त्या टेरिटरी मधला जो जीनोटाइप आहे, जीन पूल आहे, तो बदलतो, त्याला आपण जीन फ्लो म्हणतो. Now last is the genetic drift. See, any alteration in allele frequency in the natural population by chance is called genetic drift. That is elimination of a particular allele from a population due to events like accidental death prior to mating. See, if mating occurs, if gamete get formed and they get fertilized, then definitely there the allele get inherited. But if allele is there which is different, okay, which is due to recombination and it has to be inherited, so before mating, before fertilization, so inheritance not possible and the allele get eliminated from the gene pool. Okay, so we often say that elimination of allele from the gene pool prior to mating, that means causing accidental death of an organism. So this is nothing but genetic drift. Due to genetic drift, some alleles of a population are lost or reduced by chance and some others may be increased. So here, new geographical area, large population which produce new population in new geographical area, the allelic frequency of new population become different. and the original drifted population becomes founder, and the effect is known as founder effect. What do you mean by founder effect? See, due to genetic drifts. Now see, some alleles get reduced, some allele gets increased, or some gets lost. But sometimes what happens, few individuals become isolated from the original large population and they produce new population in new geographical area, and the allele frequency of new population become different. So the original drifted population is nothing but founder population. That means, see, we are going to study about founder's effect. So in case of founder's effect, this is original population, but due to some reasons isolation occur, and here the drifted, we can observe the drift in the gene pool, and this new separated small population show different allelic frequency. Okay, and it is different from the original one. This is known as founder's effect. Here we can also see some of the new population okay, which are isolated from the original one. Now we are going to talk about natural selection. It is a process by which better adapted individuals with useful variations are selected by nature and leave greater and more number of progenies. Okay, so here natural selection, selected by nature, adapted by nature, and are with useful variations. Now natural selection can be classified into three different types. While studying this, you have to focus, you have to look at the page number 104 of your textbook. Okay, I am not going to draw the graph here as they are not so practical. Okay, so open your book, page number 104. Okay, so type of natural selection. First it is stabilizing selection. Here more individuals of the population acquired a mean character value. It tends to favor the intermediate forms and eliminate both the phenotypic extremities. For example, see, more number of infants with intermediate weight survive better as compared to those who are overweight or underweight. That means in a certain population, if the average weight is 50 kg, then lower weight organisms as well as higher weight organisms will definitely not survive. Okay, why? Because the average weight of certain population is 50 kg. Okay, so they are selected by nature for better adaptation. Okay, so the group of individuals with average weight 50 are selected by nature, okay, to flourish, not underweight as well as not overweight. Okay, so it reduces variation. It does not lead to evolutionary change, but tend to maintain phenotypic stability within the population. Therefore, it is described as stabilizing selection. Genetically stabilizing selection represents a situation where a population is adapted to its environment. Okay, so here in the graph it is shown that stabilizing selection. One of the peak region is shown, selection against both extremes, okay, and smaller peak, that is original population, and population after selection. So here you can see that the extremities are not selected, the extreme conditions in the population are not selected, so it is known as stabilizing selection. Another one is directional selection. In this type, more individuals acquired value other than the mean character value. Natural selection acts to eliminate one of the extremes of the phenotypic range and favor the other. For example, systematic elimination of homozygous recessives. Directional selection operates for many generations. It results in an evolutionary trend within a population and shifting a peak to one direction. So here you can observe the directional selection. The examples are industrial melanism, DDT resistant mosquitoes. Okay. So selection against an extreme. Here only see directional, that means only one directional. Okay, so natural selection acts to eliminate one of the extreme condition, not both. See, in previous stabilizing selection we studied that underweight and overweight are not selected by nature. But here in directional selection we are saying that only one of the extreme condition is not selected by the nature. So it is not stabilizing, it is directional. Next, disruptive natural selection. Here the more number of individuals acquire peripheral character value at both the ends of the distributional curve. Nature select extreme phenotypes and eliminate intermediate. Hence, two peaks are formed in distribution of traits. So by observing the given diagram or graph, we can say that two peaks are, see, in disruptive natural selection, both the extreme conditions are selected by nature. Not the moderate or average or intermediate character is selected. Okay, for example, I can say that in previous example of stabilizing selection, nature selects only intermediate characters, not the extreme. Okay, vice versa, exactly opposite to that, in disruptive natural selection, nature selects only both the extreme conditions, not the intermediate condition. Okay, so it was observed in the different beak size of African seed cracker finches, that is birds. The birds have different size of beak and they feed on seeds. The available seeds were of two kinds, small and large seeds. Large beak sized birds feed on large seeds and small beak sized birds feed on small seeds, and their number was increased. Intermediate beak sized birds are unable to feed on either type of seeds. So their population was decreased gradually and then eliminated by natural selection. Are you getting this point? In disruptive natural selection, only extreme conditions are selected. As we have studied in this example, the finch or bird with large size beak feed on large seed and a bird with small sized beak feed on small seed. But bird with intermediate beak, size beak, never get fed with large as well as small seeds. So definitely here we can observe the increase in number or increase in population of large size big bird as well as small size big bird. Okay, now isolation. We are going to study about isolation. Separation of a single interbreeding population into subunits, and they are definitely due to geographical barriers, that means physiological barriers. So see here, along with this natural selection, isolation also works, speciation also works, okay, for organic evolution. So speciation, the subunits of single interbreeding population get eventually developed into new species. Okay, so here interbreeding is prevented due to isolation. See, after this we talk about natural selection, and after natural selection we talk about isolation, and this isolation leads to speciation. How? See, due to isolation, the new group of population never get interbred with the original group. So hence there is, without interbreeding, without mating, new species get formed. That is nothing but speciation. Now here we are going to study about Hardy-Weinberg's principle. Here also look at the page number 105. Okay, so Hardy-Weinberg's equilibrium law. Here, at equilibrium point, both the gene frequency and phenotypic frequency remain constant. Both the gene frequency and phenotypic frequency. A single locus has two alleles. The frequencies of these alleles are P and Q. See, here we can say capital A and small a. These are two alleles. Okay. The frequencies of these alleles are P and Q. That is, the frequency of capital A is P and frequency of small a is Q. Okay. So here the allele frequency for any locus is always P plus Q is equal to 1. Okay. That means P plus Q is always equal to 1. Now squaring both the sides, P plus Q the whole square is equal to 1 square. That is P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. This is the Hardy-Weinberg's equilibrium law. See, P is, see here we can say that. Now put the original values. Capital A, P square, that means capital A, 2 capital A, small a plus small a is equal to 1. Okay. So here P represents the frequency of capital A and Q represents the frequency of small a. So this is the Hardy-Weinberg's principle. Go through the chart. So like allele frequency, the genotypic frequency together are also equal to 1. Further we are going to discuss about adaptive radiation. As we have talked already about adaptive radiation in case of Darwin's finches. Okay. We studied that Darwin traveled with his ship, okay, and reached to the Galapagos Island, where he observed the finches, beaks of the birds, okay, with better adaptation from the mainland. म्हणजे जे mainland वरचे birds होते त्यांच्यापेक्षा इथल्या birdsची beak थोडी वेगळी होती. सो या बर्ड्सना त्याने जे ऑब्झर्व केलेल्या बीकवाले बर्ड्स आहेत त्यांना डार्विन्स फिंचेस म्हणतात. ओके. सो त्याचं असं ऑब्झर्वेशन होतं की फिंचेस, द बर्ड्स आर अडॅप्टेड टू द डिफरंट एन्व्हायरमेंटल कंडिशन्स ऑफ दीज आयलँड्स फ्रॉम ओरिजिनल सेडेटिंग फीचर्स. मेनी अदर फॉर्म्स विथ अल्टर्ड बिग्स इव्हॉल्व इनटू इन्सेक्टिव्होरस फीचर्स. म्हणजे आधीचे जे मेनलँडवरचे बर्ड्स होते त्यांच्याकडे ॲडॅप्टेशन्स होते सीड इटिंग करता. मेनलँडवरचे बर्ड्स त्यांच्या बिकनी सीड खायचे, पण या गॅलापॅगोसवरचे जे बर्ड्स होते त्यांची बीक अशी ॲडॅप्टेड होती की ते इन्सेक्टसुद्धा खाऊ शकत होते. धिस लेड टू स्पेशिएशन, अल्टिमेटली ऑर्गॅनिक इव्हॉल्युशन. Okay, so this is all about adaptive radiation. Here another example is there, that is Australian marsupials. In Australia there are many marsupial animals, mammals, that is kangaroo. Marsupials means kangaroo. See, they are known as mesotherians. That means, see, त्यांच्याकडे एक बॅग असते बेबी कॅरी करण्याकरता. आपण आधी बघितलं, फॉर एक्झाम्पल एग लेयर्स बघितले जर आपण, तर एग लेयर्समध्ये पासनं पुढे आलो आपण, म्हणजे प्रोथेरियन आलो, डकबिल प्लॅटिपस, की जो एग्ज ले करतो बट नरिश्ड विथ मदर्स मिल्क. आणि त्याच्यापेक्षा थोडं पुढे आलो जर मार्सुपियल्समध्ये, तर टोटली डिटॅच्ड नाही आहे आणि वोममध्ये पण वाढत नाही आहे बेबी. कळतं आहे, बेबी वोममध्ये पण वाढत नाही आणि टोटली डिटॅच्ड पण नाही आहे, तर ते बॅगमध्ये सेफ आहे. मग असे जे मार्सुपियन्स आहेत ना, ह्यांचे जे इंटरमिजिएट कॅरेक्टर्स आहेत, म्हणजे काय, तर ते ओरिजिनल जे प्रोथेरियन आहेत आणि मोस्ट इव्हॉल्व युथेरियन आहेत, लाईक मॅमल, आपण ह्युमन बिंग, यांच्यामधले जे इंटरमिजिएट कॅरेक्टर आहे ते मार्सुपियल्सकडनं दाखवले जातात. ओके, सो असं म्हटलं जातं देर आर मेनी मार्सुपियल मॅमल्स हू इव्हॉल्व फ्रॉम कॉमन ॲन्सेस्टर. कांगारू हे एक एक्झाम्पल झालं मार्सुपियनचं, पण असे बरेच मार्सुपियन्स एका कॉमन ॲन्सेस्टरपासून तयार झाले असणार निश्चित. जसं डार्विन फिंचेस तयार झाले. ओरिजिनल बर्ड हा मेनलँडवरती होता, पण जे काही मायग्रेट होऊन आयलँडवरती आले त्यांनी बघितलं की इथे फ्रूट सीड्स जास्त खायला नाही आहेत, आपल्याला इन्सेक्टच खायचे. मग त्यांच्यामध्ये म्युटेशन झालं, जीन फ्लो झालं, जेनेटिक रिकॉम्बिनेशन झालं आणि अल्टिमेट रिझल्ट काय दिसला, नवीन तयार झालेल्या बर्ड्सची बीक ही इन्सेक्ट्स खाण्याकरता वेल ॲडॅप्टेड आहे. ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट ॲडॅप्टिव्ह रेडिएशन.